Hi everyone, this is Martina. This video will be based on a statement I heard a couple of days ago in one of the media saying something along the line, we are now at the end of October and it's time to think about our immune system. This is such a wrong perception. How our immune system works, how our health works in general, right? And I know there are a lot of people who are thinking exactly the same way. However, it's not right, and we need to straighten the record a little bit. So that's what we are going to be talking about in this video. Now, to start to think how to build up our immune system for winter now at the end of October, it's quite unfortunate. And that hope that if we haven't done really a lot for our health in the past months, that we will be able to go through the winter in a healthy state without any viruses and diseases is rather wishful thinking. Let's put it that way. The way how we should be approaching all of this is on a day-to-day basis. To start to be concerned about immune system in October, it's too late. It's definitely too late without having given another thought in the previous months. And so as I have said, we should be really going mindfully on our day-to-day basis how we are approaching our health really. And the best time to build up our immune system and get ready for winter is summer. I've been saying it in a couple of my videos I've posted in July, I guess, stating exactly the same, that back then I said the best time to build up your immune system for winter is now, is in summer. And why would be that? Now, before I come and explain that, let's cover the basics really. Where does the immune system come from in our body, or the protection really against the viruses and infection come from? Now, first of all, it's the gut microbiome, right? It's located in the gut and it's strongly depending on what we eat and how our lifestyle is in terms of exercise, stress levels, as well as other overall habits, such as spending time in the outdoors and what we also drink. The second part of the immune system is created by blood cells, white blood cells. So white blood cells and gut microbiome, they work closely together and they both are responsible for overall strength of our immune system and health in general, right? Now, depending on the type of blood cells, white blood cell, I mean, they're produced either in bone marrow or in the thymus glands or in the spleen, right? Or lymph system as well, to some extent. So the white blood cells are really the warriors of the body, where it comes to the viruses or bacteria, which is entering the gates into our internal system. That's where the white blood cells come into the picture and into the action, if you will, right? So endocrine system is important to pay attention to. And that would be coming from the overall lifestyle in terms of our stress management levels, in terms of our spending time in the sunshine, outdoors, regardless of the weather, ideally daily, right? So all our overall habits and mindset, and once again, stress levels, that's something which is impacting our overall endocrine system, along with the nutrition. And the nutrition, as I have mentioned, is super important for the gut microbiome. Now, white blood cells and microbiome work in tandem together, as I have mentioned. And how should we, or why did I say that the best time to get ready for winter is summer? Is just because of the abundance of the fresh and variety of a seasonal produce, being in the vegetables and being in the fruits. What our microbiome thrives on is variety of live foods. It's not variety of meat, It's not variety of cheese, it's not variety of fried foods or processed foods or variety of sugary drinks or foods. This is what is impacting our microbiome in the most negative way. What microbiome thrives on is vegetables, fruits, and whole grains and legumes. Now, all these live foods do contain phytochemicals, starches, and whole grains, whole sugar, carbohydrates, the healthy, good carbohydrates, which we do want to have. These are the compounds that enable variety and healthy bacteria growth. And variety needs to be extremely emphasized and underlined in this context. Because if you eat live foods, let's say broccoli and carrots and peas every week, and this is the only thing which you eat, you will not be able to have sufficient variety of gut bacteria, right? There are countless. We are not really aware, and we do not really know how much bacteria, how much different bacteria is there in the gut. We do not know. The science and all these knowledge which we do have right now, it's still in the baby shoes in terms of gut microbiome and the overall health in the gut in terms of bacteria and variety in particular, right? The science is developing quite fast, but we are still have quite limited knowledge in terms of the variety, as I have said. So what do we need to do in terms of building up the strength of the immune system in the microbiome and developing the variety of the good bacteria in the gut? Fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes do need to be our daily food, pretty much. In the course of the week, we should be eating at least 30 different vegetables and plants, let's say, different plants. And that would be including nuts, seeds, and herbs too. And so depending where you stand in your overall nutrition and what do you eat, it may seem either very easy for you to achieve or quite incredibly overwhelming number to have 30 different plans every single week. However, it's not that difficult, really. If you are not really used to eating a lot of vegetables, it might require somewhat giving it a thought and perhaps even planning to some extent in order how to achieve it. But it's not that difficult. So, having said that, though, let's say that you are really a person who wasn't really paying attention much to the quality of food and perhaps eating more in the processed food, eating more in the sugary food, drinking kind of not really good stuff in terms of sugary drinks, and perhaps more heavy on the alcohol, more heavy on the animal products as such. But you'd like to change that and you'd like to build good immune system now when we are in the winter, right? So what should you do? So what is harming the microbiome? Let's cover that one first. And the overall immune system, perhaps. What is harming it or what is influencing in a negative way? Number one, it would be over excess of animal products. All of those. Meat, cheese, too much eggs of the bad quality. And yeah, these are really something which is influencing in the negative way bacteria. I'm not saying you should not be eating any of those. I have said over excess of these products, right? Secondly, would be sugar. Sugar in any shape or form, being in form of drinks, in form of pastries, in form of chocolates, ice creams, you name it. Sugar in the form of refined sugar is influencing the bacteria in the negative way and immune system in overall. right? So that will be number 2. 3, lack of sunshine. Vitamin D is the ultimate force for overall health in general. So vitamin D, we have to pay attention. Now, the perception that we get the vitamin D only during the sunshine is not right. We get the vitamin D through ultraviolet rays that are present all the time. Just the intensity of the ultraviolet rays is different when there is a sunny weather, when there is a cloudy weather, and also intensity of the climate, if you will, in terms of our skin exposure. During the summer, our skin is more exposed to ultraviolet rays rather than during the winter months, right? So we need to pay attention to the vitamin D. From the food point of view, vitamin D is found in mushrooms, and mushrooms definitely now in the fall, it's the season of the mushrooms. It's a great way how to get extra vitamin D from the most natural sources, such as mushroom or ultraviolet rays, right? So that's the number 3, which we do need to pay attention to. 4 would be overconsumption of alcohol. If we overdo it with the drinks over, and I'm not saying one day, I'm going to say if we overdo it regularly, being it every day, being it every weekend, being it once a month, it does influence in the negative way gut microbiome. So we need to be mindful of consumption of alcohol, any form of alcohol, being a wine, beer, or any liquor, it doesn't really matter. It's still alcohol, right? So we need to be mindful about that. So overabundance of animal products, overabundance of alcohol, sugar, and any sugary drinks and sugary foods, lack of vitamin D, all these are influencing in the negative way. So if you start to think, if you are at the point now thinking about how to get through the winter in the most healthy way without being really thinking about it in previous months. So these 4 points, reduction and mindfulness, extreme mindfulness, in these 4 groups which I have mentioned would be the first place to start. So that would be reduction of these or elimination in general in some way. Now, what you need to be including is live foods, vegetables, variety of all different kinds of vegetables and fruits, and whole grains such as quinoa or buckwheat or even potato, starches in general, that are creating the food for microbiome, for the good bacteria, right? We are talking about the probiotics that are these are creating the abundance of the bacteria, and prebiotics are really the food for the healthy bacteria. So the variety comes from vegetables and the fruits, and the food the healthy bacteria can feed on is coming from the starches, is coming from the sugars, and not the sugars, the refined sugars, which I have said we need to eliminate, but from the sugars that are most natural, such as legumes that have carbohydrates, whole grains that have carbohydrates, starchy vegetables such as potatoes or pumpkins that are healthy carbohydrates, right? This is what we need to provide for the healthy bacteria to grow and not to die. Oh, really? So if there is someone perhaps thinking of taking a shortcut in a way of I don't have time for this cooking and I don't really like vegetables, but I still want to have a good healthy gut bacteria, so I'm going to stick with the foods which I like, such as meats and processed food, because I don't have time for cooking. And I'm going to buy some probiotics, and this will help me through the winter. Well, this is not how our health works, and this is definitely not how our gut and immune system works. It may be perhaps helpful for a short period of time, but in long term, you will do yourself more harm than the benefit. Simply, why should our innate immune system thrive and try to keep you healthy if you are constantly giving it the help in terms of probiotic. Why should our body try to create their own innate abundance and strength if you are constantly feeding it with artificial help? What you will achieve, you will ultimately dim the activity of your body, the ultimate, the most natural activity of your body, because the body will not have to try. It will always be depending on the help from outside in terms of probiotic pills, right? So this is not how the stuff works. And we have to be extremely mindful about this kind of approach to the health overall, because it is not really what is helping you in the long term. Now, there will be a few times when we need to, what it might be perhaps wise to take probiotics, or even needed and really necessary to take the probiotics. But I will cover that in a different video because it's topic on its own. In this particular video, I wanted to address what should we do in case of we are starting to think about immune system and the winter and our overall strength and resilience now, even though it might be too late. And as a note, if you stumbled on this video right now and you perhaps also belong to the category who did not give much of a thought in the summer or in the previous months, you would know for next year, let's say, right? But for now, you just need to reduce certain food groups or eliminate certain food groups, such as the overabundance of animal products, sugars, alcohol, and a lack of exercise and the time outdoors, and include live foods. And if you do not know whether you come to these 30 roughly, or let's say somewhere between 27 and 32, then you just want to, for a week, keep a list just to know where you stand. And every day you just write every single vegetable or fruits or nuts and seeds and herbs that you eat, including your foods. So you get an idea where you stand. I did in the beginning exactly the same because I didn't know whether I ate 15 or whether I ate 30. So I knew I was something about around 23 perhaps, because I do eat by default quite, my nutrition is rich in vegetables and rich in live food. So I knew I was somewhere around 25. I just didn't know whether I was at 23 or I was at 33, right? So I did in the beginning write down two every single day, just to get an idea like where exactly I'm standing, right? So now I know, without even writing and keeping a record and keeping a track, that every week I do get somewhere between 28 and 32 of different plants, being it those that I have mentioned, right? Now, so you might be giving it a try too, for now, so you get an idea where you stand yourself. And start there. Eliminate overabundance of the animal products, include more than live products, and pay attention to season, and try to get as much seasonal as you can, depending on the region where you live, right? If you live somewhere to the closer to the equator, in the subtropical part of the world, you might have still some more variety of fresh and seasonal produce in comparison to the people who are living in Northern Europe, right? For Central Northern Europe, where the temperatures are already colder, the days are shorter, and the abundance of the fresh and seasonal produce is kind of quite limited, right? And so that's why I keep on saying the best time to think about this is summer, when we have so much variety, which we do need to produce, which we do need to supply to our body to get ready for future, if you will, for the future months. And so Always reach for the seasonal, depending where you are located in the world and what is your climate of your location where you live, right? And so even though it might be difficult for you to start right now, don't give up, give it a try, because to look for shortcuts, it's not really working in a long term. In the most beneficial way that you can do is to turn to the most natural stuff that is available, and that is the food. That is the food and the lifestyle. So this is for today, a short reflection on the statement that now is the time to think, to start to think on the immune system and about the health for the winter, which is quite misleading. So I hope you found this helpful and interesting. If you did, please press like and subscribe to the channel. It does help channel to grow quite a bit. In the future video, I will talk about the prebiotic and probiotic and when is the good time to really think of supplementing probiotics, and what exactly do you need to pay attention to when you need to go this way, because there will be certain circumstances where you do need to think about supplementing the probiotics where the food is simply not enough. So this is something which I will be covering in the next video in the course of this week. So this is all for now, and I thank you for joining me, and I'll see you soon. Bye.